My dear brothers and sisters in the risen Lord, 28th Sunday. Extremely happy I am to encounter with you through Sunday liturgy, Eucharistic celebration, and share a few thoughts of readings of today of the ordinary season. All the three readings are having only one theme attentively: people not invited to the banquet. In the Bible, the banquet is a frequent image to express the eschatological event, the reign of God, in which God gives Himself freely and definitively. Gratuitousness favors to the poor. In his narrative, Matthew seems to have contrasted, juxtaposed or two parables. The parable of the guest and that of a man not wearing the wedding robe. Undoubtedly, both the parables deal with being invited to the kingdom. For a long time, it was thought that the unworthy guest referred to the people of Israel who did not welcome the prophets. But there seems to be a better and more consistent interpretation, identifying the unworthy with the people's leaders who benefited from their knowledge of the law in addition to their social rank. They were the ones who had farms, business, or interests which they placed against of the invitation to the kingdom. Moreover, they mistreated the servants. Obviously, those invited were not worthy. Matthew chapter 22, verse 8. The invitation to the kingdom is irrevocable and is always open. But its addresses must be sought in another special place. Go therefore into the main streets and invite everyone you find to the wedding banquet. Matthew 22, 9. These are the places of people who have not a home, not steady employment, or no business in the city, the poor and the outcast, those considered as ignorant and sinful by the religious leaders of the people. In a parable text, Luke is even more direct and specific. Invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, and the blind. Luke chapter 14, verse 21. Those are the historical addresses of the messianic endeavor, just as Jesus himself responds to those sent by John the Baptist who ask about his identity. Matthew adds that in the main streets they gathered all whom they found, both bad and good. So the wedding hall was filled with the guests. Verse 10. Bad and good, in that order to make clear that the people are not invited because of their merits, but rather because of the gratuitous goodness of God toward the poor, the lost, and sinners. This grace transforms the uninvited into the privileged addresses of the banquet and the kingdom. Being in solidarity with the lost and serving them can convert us into the guests seated at the same table with the uninvited, waiting in hope and commitment. In Matthew, it is different. In Matthew, it is different in Luke's parable text. The parable continues with another theme. Sometimes present himself without a wedding robe. Accepting the invitation to the kingdom requires a certain practical behavior to which the image of the robe is referring, verse 11. As a prophecy, if Isaiah promises, the perspective of the kingdom consists in our salvific community with God, source of the fulfillment of joy. This is our God. We have waited for Him so that He might save us. Let us be glad and rejoice in His salvation. 25:9. That will be the definitive victory over death and tears. He will swallow up death forever. Then the Lord will wipe away the tears from all faces and disgrace of His people. He will take away from all the earth. Verse 8. The hope of salvation relativizes the value of every other good. That is the experience of Paul, who knows what it is to have little and to have plenty, and have to live in different circumstances, eating well or going hungry, having plenty or being in need. Philippians 4:12. Eschatologic hope is vibrant and committed hope to transform God's promises into anticipated historical reality, and to do that for a fundamental reason. I can do all things through Him who strengthened me. Verse 13. For this grace, let us ask from the Eucharistic Lord in the Eucharistic sacrifice. May God bless you all. Amen.